Hello, and welcome back to Scream with me. My name is Rusty, and this is my horror and music channel where I talk about my favorite horror movies and my favorite music, which is usually heavy metal. And now I want to talk about a little surprising movie that I did not expect. Now, as you've heard me bitch about in other videos, I've got so many movies here that I need to watch. But when I watch a horror movie, I want to do a video on it. And I get so backlogged that I don't want to watch any new horror movies because it goes on the list or the stack. And then I get so far behind by the time I get to it, I can't remember about the movie. I had to watch it again. So I sometimes try to watch my other genre movies, mostly sci-fi, action, and stuff like that. So the other night I had gotten two Halle Berry movies, and I had watched a movie called Kidnap, which is phenomenal. I mean, that movie had me on the edge of on the edge of my seat, and I thought that, and I believe that that movie has the best car chase scene of any movie ever put down on film is Kidnap by Halle Berry. So, not wanting to watch another horror movie, I wanted to watch the other one, and that is what we are going to talk about today because it turns out me never having seen a trailer, me never having watched a review, I did not know it was a horror movie until 20 minutes in, when all of a sudden I realized that I was basically watching The Silence of the Lambs. This movie was released in 2013, yet I have never really heard anything about it. It stars Halle Berry there. You can see The Call. And yeah, so it was released in 2013. It stars Halle Berry, Evie Thompson, and Abigail Breslin. And what's the guy's name? The killer. Because he deserves credit. Michael Eklund. He definitely deserves credit. So I started watching this movie, and it's about a 911 operator. The tagline is, when a veteran 911 operator takes a life altering call from a teenage girl who has just been abducted, she realizes that she must confront a killer from her past in order to save the girl's life. Okay. Sounds like just, like an action thriller or something, is what I thought. Of course, I didn't see that. I didn't look it up. I just bought this when I bought the other one, Kidnap. So, I mean, you can get this right here, Blu-ray DVD, $5, brand new, still in the shrink wrap, and the digital code still worked, as most of them do, unless it's Universal. They like to cancel stuff. But yeah, that's all this cost me, was $5, brand new on eBay, still in the wrapper. Uh, so yeah, so there I am thinking, and it started off scaring the shit out of me. She's 911 operator. She gets a phone call. It's a girl in her house who's being attacked, being broken into. You can tell pretty quickly that the dude is there not to rob or anything, but he is there looking for a person. He's there looking for her. So she's on the phone with Halle Berry. Now, it's very, very tense. It's like strangers pray at night shit going on. And so I immediately started getting this feeling that this is not what I'm like, you're giving me horror movie vibes in the first 10 minutes, and this isn't what I expected. I thought I was going to watch like a crime drama or something. So she's on the phone, and they think that she gives her all of the right information, and she thinks that she has saved her life, but she makes a mistake, an honest, legitimate mistake. And that is that the girl tells her that she thinks the intruder is gone, downstairs that he's leaving. She's upstairs under the bed, and she accidentally hangs up the phone. And Halle Berry makes a mistake, and that is that she calls back. Now, 911 does call you back in a situation like that, but this wasn't good because the guy had not left, which meant he heard the phone. He comes up, he gets her, the girl's gone, and Halle Berry, of course, feels very bad, very traumatized, as anyone would, because the search is on for this girl, and a few days later she shows up buried in a hole. She's dead. She's killed by this guy. So you flash forward like 6 months, something like that. She's taken a desk job. She's become an instructor because this has really traumatized her. She feels very, very guilty that she caused this girl's death. So, up till that point, you're still okay with everything, And next thing you know, another blonde teenage girl gets kidnapped and is in the back of a trunk, the boot of a car. Try to use American terms, the trunk. It's the boot of the car. So the girl is in the boot of the car, and she's, being down there, and she has a phone that her friend, because he broke her phone, but she had a phone that she had taken from her friend and stuck in her pocket that was one of those throwaway phones. And she remembered that while she's in the trunk, and she pulls it out and starts her phone call with Halle Berry. This is pretty much a huge chunk of the movie. This dude is crazy, and it turns out he's a serial killer, and he ends up killing another guy on the way. It's very, very harrowing. So you're very, very anxious, very, very tense, very, very intense. This movie is very intense. And then you get to the third act, and that's where you realize for 100% fact, I mean, within 20 minutes after everything that you see, this is a horror movie. And I don't think that I have seen a movie that reminded me of Silence of the Lambs since that movie until this. So the entire third act becomes the Silence of the Lambs. This dude is a serial killer. He is doing the kind of stuff Buffalo Bill did in Silence of the Lambs. He's kidnapping these girls for a reason. He's not just, what you would think, an assaulter or kidnapping them for that purpose. He has got a serious mental problem with his sister, who you find out had died of cancer. And he is basically trying to he's not trying to build a skin suit like Buffalo Bill, but he's scalping them. And he's got a bedroom. He's got this underground bunker, just like Buffalo Bill. And in that bunker, he has made a bedroom up like his sister's bedroom, and he's taking these girls who look like his sister because he wants their hair. So he's scalping them and taking their hair and putting it on mannequins to do God knows what with. And they really make it, they give you very strong indications that there was either an unrequited incestuous relationship between him towards his sister, or there was actually an incestuous relationship between them. It doesn't tell you, but it shows. She finds a photo album that shows some pictures, and in those pictures there is one especially where he is engaging in basically French kissing his dying sister. This isn't a kiss on the cheek or a familial kiss on the lips. This is a very sexualized picture, and it creeps you out. And it really does turn into that entire Silence of the Lamb. The last 20 minutes of Silence of the Lambs is, it's different but the same. And Halle Berry has tracked him down. He's got this girl that was in the trunk. He has tracked her down. There they are. They have the big Clarice Starling, Buffalo Bill, cat and mouse in the underground bunker. It worked perfectly. It was very, very, it was so very, the setting and the motive and everything was so different between these two movies that they are not clones, but at the same time, the feeling, the tension, the overall narrative of it, and the actions and behaviors are so close that, yeah. So, if you make the mistake that I did and not know, if you have not watched or seen, of course there will be the trailer in this video, but if you've not seen it, this is a horror movie. It is very, very much like Silence of the Lambs in mood, atmosphere. A lot of the behavior of this serial killer is very, very reminiscent. He is kidnapping girls for a non-typical reason. He is kidnapping them for their skin, and he is crazy. The whole movie is extremely tense, but the last 30 minutes is just as tense to me as Silence of the Lambs was. And the whole time that I was watching it, I'm like, this is Silence of the Lambs. This is Silence of the Lambs. So if you think Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie, which I certainly do, then this movie is a horror movie. Serial killer based horror movie, just like Silence of the Lambs was. The psychology involved, of course, isn't as deep because you don't have Hannibal Lecter or anything like that. But just the relationship between her and this, because you have to remember, she realizes after a little while, because of something he says on the phone, she realizes, I think it was while the girl was still in the boot of the car, that she realizes that this is the same guy who got the girl that she was so traumatized over and murdered her. This is another victim of his, so it makes her become Clarice Starling and go after him herself, because she feels so guilty about what happened to the first girl. And he's done it many, many times, you discover. So the underground bunker was a creepy as hell. The things that he does to them is like really, I just had never heard of it. It's like I've said before in other videos, sometimes movies slip past us. We don't pay attention. We don't really know what they are. They slip past us, and this one slipped past me. I bought it thinking it was maybe a little dramatic thing. I did not know that it was what it turned out to be. So now I'm telling you what it is. If you like horror movies like Silence of the Lambs, get this movie. It is very, very good. Halle Berry is a wonderful actress. I'm still waiting for my Storm movie, but Halle Berry does an excellent job in this. The killer is fucking crazy. You sympathize with all of the characters. Everything about this movie was great. So I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And it was, I knew I would like it anyway, but I didn't know that it would be in my horror thing, my horror pantheon. I thought it would be like Kidnap. It would be another one of her excellent dramatic movies, you know. I didn't know that it was a horror movie. It is a horror movie. If that triggers your OCD, I'm so sorry for you. But yeah, The Call, Halle Berry. Love this movie. Never paid attention to it. Wish I had. If you get a chance to see it, see it. We're gonna play. We're going to play Glare. Hide the Glare. But love it. And I think you will too, if you like Silence of the Lambs anyway. If you like serial killer based horror movies, yeah, this will do it for you. But thank you for taking the time to listen to me rant about another movie, and I will be back shortly to bother you again, as I intend on doing till I die. Because I'm just irritating that way. Thank you very much for dropping in. I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Love you, bye.